What's up, guys? Wobbly Rick here. Looks like I took the single 2,000-pound set of rockets. Need to see what is the max speed on those Mighty Mouse. No max speed release. Okay. No, it shouldn't be this heavy on this plane. Come on, wobbly jet. Push higher. Got big shoes to fill. Okay. Oh, man. You know, if I didn't happen to be awake this morning, things could have been a lot more weirder. I feel a lot better, though. But I guess that's because I ate breakfast. Normally I don't eat breakfast. Hopefully with a reduced payload like the one I have, I can actually get what I need done. Let's keep those engines burning though. I need them to be relatively fast. I also got to be incredibly careful. Engines should cool down, which is good enough for me. Mach 20 away from Mach 1. Oh. A little bit sleepy, but that's normal. My partial sensitivity to general caffeine is also another issue. I don't have to deal with it on my own time. Looks like I have 2 bogeys coming up to my north. Oh, that F-111 aardvark was going down. Old boy was on fire over there. Oh, did not just do that. Off the chain. Dude dropped flares, probably thinking I was going to bust a U-turn. Basically hit a roll, or an inverted roll. If you're wondering what that sound was, that was the literal sound of what it sounds like to get shot at. J35, what is that? It's the XS Vegan. Better be careful with that. Well. At least a bomb went off in close proximity of him. Yep. It definitely did. That was quite a bit of damage to him. Oh, that was pretty good. See if you still got something to work with, loser, when you go land. Hope he crashes. Too bad nobody helped me there. Everybody's usually so busy doing their own thing, or they're just too busy trying to help themselves rather than others. That's a fact, for anybody who's actually wondering. That happens quite often. They won't help you, they'd rather help themselves. Might as well take a mix, you never know. This is Air RB, I'm only gonna need this one plane. It should only take 2,000 pounds of explosives, but I also doubt that as well. Let's take a look. Moderate fuel. Should probably not keep it at 100%. I need those engines to survive. Tupolev 2. I just gotta remember, I probably have limited ammunition up here. Spinny thingy. Ouch. I think that's the correct dude. Looks like he bailed. Holy crap, that was super close. Oh, looks like I better be ready because it looks like I'm gonna get followed.
Somebody attack him!
Yeah, let's get a little closer, Spitfire. Yeah, that's the thing that sucks about realistic battles. Can't expect nothing to turn out good. Especially at lower BRs. Nobody's willing to help. Yet they want it. Well, those guys can go freaking gargle my balls. I don't care. And I forgot his name, but it was something Chief. Always said, don't worry about what the blueberries are thinking because you're never going to be happy if you do. So there's no point worrying about the blueberries because they're not going to help you. So there you have it. Do 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 diddle doodle doo doo. Yeah, I guess this does work out, this loadout. It does cut down on the time I spent.
Attack the A point. Attention to the map.
Man, look at this massive storm cloud. Well, I gotta deal with a J35 XS model, so I just go straight up. The thinner the air, the higher I can go. But the faster I'll be able to gain some Mach. So, speed of sound times 1. Here I come. Go up to 6,000. We'll go up to about 6,000 meters. It's the safe ceiling altitude when everybody's sitting low. Looks like the Su-22 is going to try to make its way up to me. Now, if you're wondering when it comes to Russian fighter planes and stuff like that, what the M stands for, the M stands for modernization. So if you see something that says T-62 and you see the M1, M1 means modernization package 1. M2 means modernization package number 2, and so forth. There's a similar iteration for also their fighter planes as well as their bombardier jets. So let's say you see a Yak-28 and it says M1, then it's got the modernization package number 1, which would basically make an outdated aircraft with some new electronic avionics and some probably brand new boosters or starters for the engine. Looks like all the ground targets are gone, so I gotta wait until some new ones are scouted out. I don't really have a choice at this point. I have to wait. Hopefully a new ground target does appear. I don't feel like wasting my time shooting at little things. It looks like there's only 2 pilots left. The Su-22 and this lone J-35XS model. Don't tell me it's going to say there's no more enemy players on the map. At least give me another base to drop bombs on, dude. Because the F-111 Hardvark kind of swallowed all the competition real quick, leaving no basis for wobbly. And just so my pilot had a lot more better skills at absorbing G-forces, I decided to bump up the crew's G-force skill a little higher. Need to have a certain level of vigorosity or something similar to that in order for this guy to take more. So I guess trying to get the expert whatever for this guy will also be something I'd need to work on too. But since I got a single 2,000-pound bomb, I'll use it to my advantage. Well, it didn't do exactly what I needed it to either. Oh, barely a new ground target, huh? Right after I dropped the bomb. Wobbly's new target. I'll have to expenditure all my mighty mouse, but it'll be worth it. How many rockets does it say I have? 76? If I can make it there, I can get to what I need to.
Somebody attack him.
Don't black out. Wobbly! At least that's some coinage. Yay. Yay, now I got even stronger missiles. 4 rockets on board. VLU, this is freaking thermal. Like basically thermo charges or something like that. The AGM-12 bolt pop. I can get a G-suit, increasing my positive and negatives functions. Not going to really need new 20mm cannons, so we're going for the G-suit. Okay, let's go into modifications. Now if I get the BLU-1, I can get these napalm, which also works a base over with precision explosives. 6.8 kilograms versus the 0.91 by 76. Could try doing a mix of both. I'm not sure what type of change that'll make. So I'm gonna put that one right there. I guess these only go on the external pod. This will get swapped out for a 2,000 pounder. Too bad the middle one can't actually be edited for anything other than bombs, because in real life the hard point is a lot different. Because if I'm not mistaken, every variation of the F5 was capable of loading rocket pods not just on the side spar pylons, but on the center pylon. It was capable of having an external GAU 20mm cannon placed on the bottom of the plane, as well as a fuel tank, and this is on every F5 variation. So you could have got a freaking 20mm cannon like the F4 Phantoms have. Got a 20mm cannon. You also could have got the GAU 19 system as well installed on the bottom. There's like multiple things you could have got with that thing, but because all that stuff's considered classified documentation, the game itself will never include it, even though there are modifications. So unless somebody pays for it to be declassified, then it will not be declassified. But it's mostly because even the materials that are used to create said armament is still considered classified information. So, sort of a mix. But I still say it's a mess. It's hard to get information nowadays, and even if you did get it by legal means or standards, you'd still be subjected to some other ridiculous material. There goes the F-111A. And there goes SpongeBob, ripping his pants again. So I got a mix. Mighty Mouse and Zunies. I still don't know why that is a factor with this plane. It struggles to do takeoff and a few other things. However, there was some flaps that were for takeoff flaps on this aircraft, but general function, the blade didn't go that far down. It's about the same equivalence to standardized flaps for braking. Basically landing. On the left hand side of this glade cluster, or over here on the right hand side, it's all supposed to be a radar panel. I know in the center there wasn't a radar panel, but I know somewhere on the right hand side all those gauges were moved to another side, or directly to the side panel right here, so that you can see those gauges. You also had that right there. You also had the main final board up here in the front, right around here, where the upgraded variations had a radar system. They also had a nose-mounted cone radar, but it gave you a limited range. And if you did get the nose-mounted cone radar, they would switch out the 20mm cannons, apply the filler pieces if they put them in, so that way it gives it better aerodynamics. And then you'd have basically where the 20mm would be laid out a radar antenna system, and then underneath you would have a 20mm machine gun. Weird modifications on planes that I've seen, including iterations from other countries. Like I know in Mexico they have F5s. They swapped out the 20mm machine guns on some of them and put a radar in the nose cone. Essentially where the 20 mils would sit, there's a radar equipment installed there. They've also tried the underbelly mounting for particularly miniguns and air-to-air material. Maybe if I pray hard enough I can catch up to that F-111 while it's at slow speeds. I can take them on. Oh, somebody got shit on. I think it's a bit much asking the snail god of this game to provide me something. It's like the F5 is firing away. And the F-111A Aardvark, the only plane capable of automatic fire on flares, has just gone down.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
It's like this F-111 is staying at low altitude. Should probably increase your altitude, buddy, if you want to hit your max speed. There's a reason why they call that fastback. And that was some kind of code name that was given to it. Fastback, and then there a Tu-160 had a code name called backfire. Because it was also capable of not just firing cruise missiles and dropping nuclear-related ordnance. It was also capable of freaking doing some other crazy stuff, which was also firing air-to-air missiles backwards. The 1.44 MFI program created by Mikoyan Industries. The 1.44 MFI program also had a freaking weird little program in their little system. Not only was there a radar in the front, but there was also a search radar in the back. So if the missiles were mounted backwards, you could shoot the missiles inside of the vehicle straight backwards at the enemy. Can you imagine that, firing a missile at your rear? So let's say somebody's following you, you could fire it at your 6 o'clock and take out an enemy jet, tailing you. That brings tactical advantage and intelligence to a whole new level.
Destroy the target.
Oh, thanks, bro. You guys really did your job. The Chinkanese fighter blew me up. This cheap plastic missiles. Literally diarrhea all over the F5. And yes, I did say that. Well, at least I managed to blow up one shitty base, because I'm going to be honest, that's a lot better than getting nothing. Still a shitty game. Everybody loves Ramon. Everybody loves Ramon. What about Wobbly? What about Wobbly's needs? Mataga Maluga. Oh well. Oh, my damn freaking neck. And we're gonna fly out there with these HVAR rockets. Oh boy. We're gonna deal some serious damage to nothing. Waffles. Big, round, tasty waffles with lots of syrup. Waffles. Big, round, tasty waffles with lots of syrup. Oh, look at that wing. It just like gelatinous blobby. Literally just flaps. It's like the plane doesn't agree with itself. Wobble, 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 wobble. Oh, that actually slows you down. Wobblies. Big, round, tasty wobblies with lots of syrup. Hi, I'm Wobbly, and many of you might know me from Wobbly Income. Or Wobbly Incorporated. Oh boy. Oh my glob. Oh wow, it sounds like I add more friends. I can hear another plane. I know it's not just me up here, Jenkins. Told you I know it's not just me up here. Ah. That's not a lot of research. That makes me kind of sad. AR-234. That dude's a jet plane. Well, I'd like to see him outrun that.
Attention to the designated grid.
This is sort of accurate in the inside of this plane. I got to sit inside one of these at an air show.
The enemy is winning.
Oh, these babies are workhorses.
Somebody attack him. I agree.
Oh, you want someone to get rid of that 109? Well, you have fun, F-82. It's right above you.
Somebody attack him.
Dropping down to 40%. Man, I was overheating on those engines. With my overeater's meningitis. Ooh, why'd the music stop? Did the game finally learn the music sucks and it should start playing something better? Nope. As soon as I land this bird down, I'm gonna go find some different music. Preferably some music that isn't of this quality, but will match the previous aptitude. Because this music is like Generation 1 music.
Attacking.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You almost crashed me into the ground with a lag. Uh-oh. That's a bit rough. Oh, she didn't like that. How is this plane heavier in the nose?
Our victory is near.
Alright, let's go ahead and look over here and we're gonna look for some music. And here, we'll go ahead and put it in.
Attention to the map.
I don't know why he's playing a 288 and freaking RB. It's a bit of a rough grind.
Take him
I get the
down.
XP is a lot better and everything, but still, RB is rough for that particular vehicle. I did the PE8 and RB, and although it did pay off over time, it's just, it was way too heavy even for me. If we're hoping to catch the AR-234 with those twin jet engines, that's going to be a rough time catching up to them. I think they top out at like 660 miles an hour. And that's at sea level.
Keep it up and victory will be ours.
Plus we got a real target here.
Destroy the target!
Oh, dude must have been doing way too much turning out at sea. Should have just kept flying in a straight line.
Return him to the face.
Would have had a better chance. I currently have an energy drink in front of me, but that's just in case my body gets lazy.
Affirmative.
Uh-oh.
Need cover.
So I got Chunky Puffs over here coming after me. And he's going straight up, and here comes the dive. 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. I took out that BF-109F. Take that. It's like I took out the P-47M modified. By the way, the P-47 stayed in service for quite some time. Before there were jet fighters, there were wobblies. Before there were wobblies, there were wobbly soldiers. Before there were wobbly soldiers, there were wobbly cooks. How did I get knocked out? There's nothing that explains how the pilot got knocked out right there. I just randomly exploded in midair for nothing. What's a Mark AS-78? Oh, napalm. I'll take those. I'll put the rest into the airframe. Time to create a custom class. HVAR. Save. Now if I can get the Mark 13 mods, I can put a single Mark 13 in the middle. Because if I take a look at this current class, it hasn't reached its maximum payload, so I could take 2 firebombs and a single Mark 13 anti-ship mine. which will pay off when you think about it. If you wonder what napalm is, it's a type of flammable jelly. If you get it on your skin when it's not lit, you're going to need to scrub it off as soon as possible, because it has some pretty bad side effects after a while of it being in contact with your skin. Even if it isn't on fire, some pretty bad side effects. And your skin will be very thankful if you do scrub it off. But if you leave it on there, well, I hope you got good health insurance. I have no idea how this is looking over, so I'm gonna have to review some audio. Give me a second. Okay, the audio is acceptable.
Destroy the target.
And here comes the dive. Yep. And 1K1 model. Thank God he went for that guy. That could have ended poorly for me. Whenever you see the ME-262, considering it's at this BR, I'd say it's kind of a rip-off. Because these got twin jet engines with a literal booster on board. There's no way that most people will survive that thing. Still running on piston power over here. Yeah, the piston cup. Look at this guy, he looks all sad. Just looking all around. Oh man. If I was ever flying a fighter plane, I'd probably get bored and fall asleep. Imagine just sitting there.
Destroy the target.
Probably's coming up on his target. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 what the Jim Jam? Oh boy, they already put a leak in my engine oil. Gotta put on the takeoff flaps. Nearly dropped the engine power for a second. So I know I won't make it back to base.
Attack the enemy.
Whoa, that was a little close. Even for me.
Returning to the base.
Take that, random airfield thingy. What are they called? Oh yeah, they're anti-aircraft donuts.
Attack him.
Keep it up, and victory will be ours.
Well. These guys firing their SPAA crew straight at me. Doesn't look like 88 millimeters or freaking 76 millimeter cannons, judging from the reload rate. If it's an 88, it would reload a little faster. At least I'm gonna get back to base, hopefully.
Heading to the base.
I gotta head to the short base, which means it's gonna be a close flight. Can't run out of oil. Take the left too, huh? 2S model. Got some light fortifications and some more SPAAs. This right here would normally be called flak field. So many flat cannons on the ground and machine guns. It'd be like almost a meat grinder if they were really trying to kill you. Messerschmitt's 262. I believe those planes would have seen combat in World War II if they weren't racing all the way to the homeland. I'm not sure if they were ever seen in combat, Messerschmitt 262. Other than during that test flight where they were scaring B-17s. German engineering is scary, but so is Japanese engineering for a generalized purpose rocket. With the very little materials they have available, they've been able to create numerous types of freakish things that most people would say wouldn't be normal for the average little country. But I say it's pretty interesting how they handle business. Is that the airfield? I believe so. It's a short runway. That's a bit of a drift.
Just a little more effort, and victory
Whip
will
it.
surely be ours.
Man, the engine really is boiling over here. Should probably kill it. So I don't increase the amount of damage to it since the oil leaked out. You can see it sprayed all over the right side of the plane, and it's got a little bit on the left. Not as much at the right. You got my back, lobster?
Returning to the airfield. Returning to the airfield.
I think the short airfield is good enough in order to get takeoff. Let's leave it at 100% throttle. Warner emergency power really isn't necessary. bad I can't boost the propeller trim. It would be nice to be able to change the trim of the propeller. N1, K1, Nakajima K2, and the Nakajima K1. Scary planes. This guy knows what I'm doing.
Just keep it up, and victory will
This
be
is old
ours.
school stuff. Wouldn't exactly say I'd be shocked, but I'd be definitely well entertained if that dude knew what I was doing whenever I did that with my plane wings. Oh crap.
Somebody attack him!
I need some backup. Ah, snap.
Somebody cover me!
Gonna have to drop the full payload early and ahead of schedule. Well, that happened. Oh, yeah, that's my phone vibrating. Nah, unless Adobe's offering me 50% off of that Adobe Premiere or other related stuff, I'm not really interested in it. Alright, let's see what I can get with this guy. Come on, Skyray. Hopefully I don't get up-tiered, because I got up-tiered to 11.0 a few games ago. Literally. Can you imagine being the only Skyray in a match of 11.0? It doesn't last long, but if you're lucky and you use your missiles sparingly, you'll definitely get what you need out of it. And don't bother using afterburners in the beginning. You'll be wasting a lot of fuel. You only get 24 minutes, but considering the Skyray's size in real life and how massive the fuel tanks were on it originally, I'm surprised it chews through that much fuel. But it also goes from its 100% max kilograms of force of 4,450 on the basic without the afterburner, and with the afterburner enabled, the thing goes to like 7,650 on freaking afterburners. So this thing has a pretty powerful engine for some afterburners. Those are afterburners not to play with. Because it may not look like it's doing that much, but it actually is. It's shooting out so much force and so much strength and power that even though for this vehicle's design, this vehicle is not designed to go supersonic due to its round nose. Now if the plane had a more sharper edge or tapered off edge, meaning that it was a lot more functional, this plane could go supersonic if it wanted to. But it would lose generally most of its mobility because of the incredible speeds. And due to its small size and short wingspan, this plane would lose a lot of mobility. So essentially this thing would be a flying lawn dart. On the upside, you'd go faster. Downside is you'd lose all your power and ability to steer because it doesn't have separate segments. If you look at it, the 100% max kilograms of force of 4,450 on the basic without the afterburner, and with the afterburner enabled, the thing goes to like 7,650 on freaking afterburners. So essentially this thing would be a flying lawn dart. On the upside, you'd go faster. Downside is you'd lose all your power and ability to steer because it doesn't have separate segments. Your literal flap is this segment in the back. Those two little yellow fenders you see here in the rear. They look like triangles pointed the other way, going outward. Those two things are literally your flaps. And then you got the inner spar. And you got secondary. It's like little rudders and wings. But the outer parts too, they like function in a weird fashion where it literally like doesn't match up with the plane's design. So that's another reason why this thing couldn't exactly do supersonic. And if it went close to supersonic speeds, you'd lose control of the plane because you'd literally get Z-locked. Simply because of the plane reaching close to speeds of supersonic, you kind of already lose some of the mobility. So staying anywhere between 600 miles an hour or 650 or so, you'll maintain about maybe a third of mobility, depending on even the skills of your pilot and its ability of the aircraft. So generally determined by how fast you're going. So, sort of a mix of both. But you lose a lot of the control once you hit a certain speed. I learned that from playing earlier, before I took off to go somewhere. I spent like 2 hours there. And I came back just so I could do this live stream. I'm feeling a lot better. I was feeling like garbage for the last couple of days, and I couldn't exactly tell why I was feeling so much like trash as of recent. But now my health is a little bit better. I would play Terraria, but it gets really, really lonely playing Terraria with nobody there. So that's like another thing that plays into the why I don't do Terraria too much. It's like really nobody to play with me in there, so I'm pretty lonely. That was going so slow I literally saw it.
Attack the enemy!
Oh, lost some of that mobility. Freaking J-35. Yep, there goes that mobility thing I was telling you about. You lose quite a bit of it. I'm at 0.84 the speed of sound, so about 0.20 away from the full speed of sound. All it took was to go 0.84 and I can't pull a high G turn. Although it's telling me I'm pulling 6G overload, it just doesn't do any more than that. And now I got all these dummies behind me. Not interested. But you can stay over there. I'll go fly back to HQ, try to get a reload. Hopefully I can. Don't get assassinated on the way back. Hold on, there's a MiG-19 over there by base.
Attack the enemy!
Base camper. I see you, Mr. MiG-19. Yeah, that's right, bro. Get lit. I know you lost part of your control right there, dude. Now let's see if he screws up before he gets back to HQ. I'm flying to the big base. I'm not landing here over here, Smallsville. I'd be a dumbass if I did land over here. Fortunately, the base over here still has all of its SPAA systems active and installed. Hit that air brake. You know, this thing actually reminds me of the Pokemon Love Disc, believe it or not. Oh, hold your horses, Gaijin. Pretty sure that MiG-19 PT is going to have a crap attack once it tries to land. Since it definitely knocked off a piece of the outer wing, it's going to be leaning the entire time. So, I did pretty good. Hit the air brakes. This baby's coming in hot. I thought this thing also had a parachute. Might have been mistaken. Well,
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
boop. Show your moves. I think the engines that were on this thing got put into the F4s. I guess the MiG-17 crashed over here. I guess he overshot his low pass. Ouch. Not the only one still here. No, the A5C is still out there. On you, A5C.
I agree. The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
Firing 2 missiles. Lucky he'll slow down enough for me to get him in my 20s. Hey there, buddy. Looks like I ran out of fuel. Take these instead.
Returning to the base.
MiG-19 is coming in hot.
To the enemy.
I'm out of bullets. Hopefully the SPAA will handle it. I gotta make this a quick landing. Kill that. Pull some high G turns. Pull that out. Yep.
The enemy is winning. We've got to counterattack.
Liam 5, huh? Fortunately, I killed my engines. Let's leave the air brake on. Well, looks like the SPAA failed to do its job. Seriously, I'm still in the airfield. The least it could do is give me a free repair. Because my pilot still looks like he's alive and well. So I don't see how it's a plane destroyed. I'll wait here and see if the plane respawns over there.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
Because that dude literally lobbed an entire volley at me. So it's likely their aircraft only has one gun working or has only two guns working. Because the Liam 5 is basically a Chinese version of the MiG-15. After that fat volley or whatever, it's very unlikely that that thing is still going to be able to shoot at him with more than just one cannon without having to return to base and land. I'm just going to tell him to stay close to the flak. It's like one's already hitting him. Now that he's in clear view of them. As long as he keeps staying close to the flak cannons, should keep him away. We're like 2 km from them. Should have kept the dive going. Well, told him to stay close to the flak. You had to keep them low. As long as you can keep them flying low after you, they would have been able to do that. I would have said GG, but seriously, that one guy sucks because he literally spent time camping the base. Like, you went and camped the base. So, GG to the other dude who chased me in a MiG-21. But you, sir, you suck because you camped the base. Selfish. Selfish. Not even I go fly to the enemy base and freaking bombard them like that. I wait for them to come back. I was talking about AD too. Is it talking about this one? Or is it talking about the F5A? Which one is it talking about? Because I don't... Let me take a look at that. 82. I bought something 4700. Apparently there's another one. Radiator. Airframe and radiator. Wait. So the airframe and the radiator. Okay. I thought I got screwed over somewhere. Now that I got the covers to this plane, it'll reduce its weight, which will increase a couple of factors. I'm gonna go put my drink inside the fridge. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. How to go back in the F5A. I want to go put my drink inside of the refrigerator because it needs to cool off. And I need it for whenever it hits 12 in the afternoon. It's a lot to do. Now let's go ahead and mute that, since technically I'm in top tier related business. And this has got to be the weirdest airfield I'm going to be on, so it might be shorter. Doesn't look long enough to actually launch my F5. We got some AGM 65s on board. Or those could be Mavericks. Drag chute. This is that map. Dude's lucky he threw his landing gear down because he didn't catch enough speed to make it off that airfield. As soon as he bumped off about, what, 40 meters or so, dude would have freaking broke his landing gear and crashed on the airfield and blew up. Hello, Monsieur Ethan. great game. Oh, it's already a great game. Somebody crashed into the ground for free. You've heard of the Twilight Zone. Well, this is the scary door with wobblies. The wobbly scary door. Oh, that freaking SU-22 made a U-turn. Well, that F-104 Starfighter has also done its own U-turn right away. Oh, better take this time while they're distracted with Captain Dummy over there. Sukhoi 25, Frogfoot, at Wobbly's 12 o'clock. Sukhoi 22, at Wobbly's 6 o'clock. Now reaching his 5. Who the hell was that? Oh, that was that. The CL-13. Well, I hope this dummy doesn't think I'm going to try to shoot him down just because he's traveling as slow as me.
Our victory is near.
I may be I may be an ass at times, but I'm not that kind of ass. Super speed! Not letting you have my plane.
Attack the enemy!
Uh-oh. Well, this is going to be short. Somehow I ate up all my fuel.
Need backup.
Oh boy, it's going to be as awkward as that time an American pilot defected over Russia when his plane ran out of fuel due to a pump malfunction. Oh boy. Better find a nice and straight field. That should be good enough up ahead. Okay, it's now or never, Wobbly. I don't have a choice but to land in this dusty old field. I survived.
Pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
Boy, I don't know how I chewed through 34 minutes of fuel, but for some reason that ended up swallowing a whole 34 minutes. Unless I ended up taking off with 10 minutes of fuel thinking it was 34. No, I took off with a full tank, so I had to burn through a full tank. Oh, now I know why. It's that shitty map. In that craptastic map, it doesn't matter if I select full fuel, it's never going to give it to me. Well, at least I blew up something. I might as well just vacuum. In the meantime, while I wait for it. I'll be back. Okay, I am back. Oh boy. With all the who's in Whoville. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What I'm really after in the American tech tree is the American A10. Boosters, go. Come on, dude, this isn't a heavy aircraft. You should at least be able to throw yourself in the air. These guys are leaving me in the dust. I got a 2,000-pound explosive in the middle, but still. The Sukhoi 25 over there is leaving me in the dust. They have only 3 feet more on wingspan compared to me. That target, these guys are going to annihilate it before I get there. And that Sukhoi 25 has literally got miles on end against me. I'm not going to make it there. How fast do these Mavericks go? Sidewinders, fastest speed they go is Mach 2.5 with a kilometer range of 10 kilometer firing range guaranteed. But with a G-force tolerance of 10 Gs, the computer gets overloaded relatively quickly on AIM-9E sidewinders, for those of you who are wondering. That is very true. Sidewinders get overloaded because the computer chip in the inside, along with the optical sensor that's used to sense for thermal imagery, meaning like let's say it's facing a heat trail or just generally the heat signature of an aircraft is fired at. One of the main reasons why sidewinders are not really preferred by some pilots is because the sensor can get overloaded on them. Once the missile is fired, pretty much the rocket engine, whatever else is spinning inside of the damn thing, generates the electricity. However, it gives it an overload, so then basically the whole thing about the missile itself gets overloaded because of the extreme amount of freaking electricity it's going through it. It sort of just fries out, so sensors aren't good for that long. So that's how I blew up last time. As the SPA-A managed to ignite one of the missiles during the firing phase.
We're ahead of the enemy.
If you pay attention to the F-5A's engine design and fuselage design, the reason why it looks like that is because the engines are technically angled slightly. The reason why the fuselage was designed like that was so that it could reduce what they would call a sonic boom effect, because the engines are so far to the rear. It was also supposed to create the intake shape of what is supposed to be like ram filtering, so it would be ramming the air in. But it really didn't ram the air in. Instead, it kind of reduced the power, but at the same time, it gave it a lot better fuel to air mixture. Otherwise, you'd be burning more fuel than you'd be pumping air through the compressor. Xiang F5. Should I chase after them? I got like 23 minutes of fuel. It's got chaff flares, huh? I know the Xiang's gonna be a problem in a little bit. There goes one. Get him, boys. Really, how did I get that kind of an overload?
Somebody attack him. Negative.
Yeah, you say negative, homie. You better clean up your damn act. Okay, I won't help you next time you need help then, bro. I'll make sure to leave your ass out there. And I'll watch you twist in the wind then. How does that sound? Sound good to you? Need to go for a reload.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Seriously, I didn't even realize that AV-8B was there. The dude could have blew me out of the air. Now for the BLU-1 firebombs. But this little mixture of rockets, which reduces the payload and everything, because if you pay attention to the amount of actual stats that I'm actually putting down, this is my original payload. Does 39.8 to the reduction of freaking speed. The current payload loadout, which is preset 4, does 40.3 with 117.2 negative on the rate of climb versus 122.7 plus 14 seconds to the turn time. This one only gives me plus 11.1 seconds to turn time. This loadout gives me 10.8 seconds till turn time due to the reduction in ammunition size. And parasite drag is pretty low compared to this payload. And then there's this one with the highest parasite drag. Oh no, it's got the lowest. 27,530. 27,964 on parasite drag. 28,958 on that one. This one's got 22,600 plus 10 seconds of turn time minus 108.9 to the rate of climb. Then we have this one at 27,720. Parasite drag 26,594, 14 seconds, negative 122.9. And that's all the parasite drag. And this is enough napalm in order to handle at least a base and a half. Or at least one full base, now that I think about it. Either way, I'm going to get that researched real quick. Once we have that researched, we can get then here to the FD or the F3D1. And this one's got Teeny Tim, 500 pounders, and two 2,000 pound explosives. And that's a 7.0 jet, the F-84F. Its payload consists of HVAR rockets, a total of 24, 4 500 pounders, 42 Mighty Mouse rockets, 4 1,000 pounders, or 2 2,000 pounder explosives. After that, I'd need to get the B-57A and the B-57B. if I really want to get much of any benefits. The B-57A is only useful if I'm going to use it for bombing roles only. But the B-57B Canberra, which also has 8 12.7 machine guns littered about the vehicle itself, and where you say? They're literally on the wing spars, so this guy can contend with people. It's got a, I guess like Wainwright engine, a J35W, and it's got only a maximum of 3080 kilograms of force, 3080 kilograms of force on each. It's got a basic engine cooling system, but it's got 12 M2 Browning machine guns, which are basically M3, so modernization number 3 of the Browning machine gun. It's got 3 types to control the traction of surfaces, and one specifically for the entirety of the wing spars. So it's a little alarming that only one goes for the wing spars on the left and right for the traction control surfaces. The only armor it has is the bulletproof 38mm glass, but it's not really bulletproof. But they say bulletproof anyways. It's more like bullet-resistant glass shielding. Because nothing really is bulletproof when you really break it down. And here's its counterpart, the B-57A. It's got no bullet-resistant glass, it's a 2-seater. Oh, it's a 3-seater apparently. 2 dummies sit in the back behind a pilot. When the pilot bails out and uses the only ejector seat, the other 2 guys can fight over who's going to jump out of the canopy next. I'm playing with you. When the pilot ejects, this comes off first, the main shell. Either the main shell comes off first or the 2 seats in the back fly out first, and then the main shell of the canopy blows clean off, and then the pilot gets ejected. Still, that would be funny. That would be a funny thing to see. Right here in this cone little area in the rear part of this plane is actually supposed to be a parachute. I don't know if there is. I don't even know if this plane has an air brake. That's another concerning thing about it. I have no idea if this thing has an air brake. And if you're wondering, do B-57s still exist? Well, the answer is yes, they still do exist. So if you're hoping to see one, you can still find these. Some of them I think are in a United States museum along with this guy and this guy. The A2D1, you can still find that in a museum. The F4D1, you can still find that. The A4E, you can find that. AV8B, you can find that. The F4, the FJ4B, the VFM 232 Squadron, the A10 Thunderbolt has recently been added. The F11 F1 Tiger was put in the museum. The F5C, all the way to every variation that's ever existed of the F5 jets, are also in the museum. The A6E Tram is in a museum, but without any of its main electronics or interior cockpit still put together. The F-111 Aardvark is in a museum, but most of its avionics and electronic equipment was removed in order to protect certain things which are still in use today. So if you ever had any questions about certain things, no. If you go to a museum, you see an F-11 Aardvark in there, I'm going to tell you straight up now, most of the electronic equipment are stripped from the entirety of the cockpit. You can see certain things, but the entirety of the cockpit's layout might not be entirely accurate whenever you look at it. So, not everything you see in there will be in there when you get to it. However, if you're lucky enough, you'll get to sit in one that's been chopped up where the canopy just completely got knocked off or fell off in some cases. Oh great, is this that shitty map again where that tiny craptastic airfield? Yeah, this is. When I get in there, it's going to say full tank of 34 minutes, and I'm going to have like 36. But then whenever I get up there, it's going to be more like 10 minutes of fuel. What happened there? that was a little weird. The dude just like poofed. Immediate random auto eject.
Attention to the map.
He's like, I need both bases from the right side, please. I need a Big Mac. Only have enough for one base. Well, better turn off my afterburners because we're literally miles away still, and I'm just how far? I'm like 2, maybe 3 kilometers tops from that airfield. So
Attention to the designated grid zone.
afterburners are officially off. I still don't understand what bled all my fuel from that last game. I definitely like to have an F4 though. Those things are cool. Steering is cool. Karnas. Well, that's not going to turn out well for me if I end up encountering that dude face to face. His advanced avionics and freaking advanced missile launching parameters would definitely destroy me. Still climbing altitude. Just barely realized that. Oh snap, the payload might be too heavy for me. Still waiting on another season of Invincible. How to set off his alarms. I ought to ring the dinner bell for him too. Actually, this might hit him. Where are you going? Stupid missile, you overloaded. Oh, no you didn't. You're right behind him. Like he slowed down just enough for me to catch up. far away from the enemy base. We got 28 minutes of fuel. As soon as I'm done dropping this entire payload, I got a freaking dart. Because all I have is countermeasures remaining and no air-to-air other than my machine guns. And the only way the machine guns would work is with the face-off encounter. I just gotta avoid enemy fire too, so that's another problem. But we'll cross that burning bridge when we get there.
Destroy the target!
Oh, I guess Kurnas is pissed. Looks like, what's his name? Rusky didn't get his milk. Dude should really calm down. It's just a goddamn video game. I mean, even I calm down, but I don't want to overreact in life. It's not worth it.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
At least I got one base. It was better than getting nothing. Alright, fire bombs. Fully researched. I'm going to put in points into the 20 mil, then we're going to go for the AGM-12 or a new set of 20 mil cannons. Okay, we're going to alter this payload. How many BLUs can I cram onto this payload? Let's save that. And it's negative 59.1 miles an hour to max speed, negative 127 plus 12.7. Man, that is a heavy payload. So I continue with the rocket's payload attack along with the single 2,000 pounder, which is enough to take out a base. Really all depends. How much more research do I need to complete? Still got a bit to go. Then I gotta get the B-29 AN Super Fortress. Too bad it doesn't get its nuclear bomb. Would have been nice. Dropping nukes all over the damn place. Oops. Still, I prefer the Tupolev 4. It's a complete, direct, reverse-engineered B-29 Super Fortress. It's like a reverse-engineered Super Fortress, but it carries 20mm cannons. B-29 Super Fortresses, all four of them. But they saw a fifth Super Fortress flying over Ramstein Airfield. And they basically saw this, the fifth one, or I think that's the fourth one. I don't know how many they had, but it was ridiculous. They saw them flying over the air base, and they assumed that it was an undocumented or crashed or possibly a lost B-29 that was never returned. But when they realized it was not their B-29, and it turned out to be Tupolev's reverse-engineered B-29, which had better engines, and apparently, literally, a much more heavier payload capacity. In fact, in real life, if it were possible, that B-29 could have carried 2, maybe 3 5,000 kilogram bombs. So, due to the ridiculous payload requirements of that thing, it could have carried quite a bit. A single 5,000 kilogram bomb dropped from a plane of any proportionate size is enough to one-shot any hardpoint base with even heavy fortifications installed, like freaking pillboxes and stuff like that. Even with a heavy pillbox installed, a single 5,000 kilogram explosive would have been enough to completely demolish it and cause earth-shattering damage. It would probably create an earthquake. Now, if you're looking for people who tried to master the design of an earthquake bomb, you'd be looking at Britain. Britain designed something that was specifically designed to penetrate into the soil deep enough to where if it got close enough to where the plates would meet, that it would generate an earthquake shortly after the detonation of the bomb, because it would lift up a lot of soil simply because of the explosion. So you'd be looking at Britain. They're the ones who wanted to master the creation of creating an earthquake by creating a general purpose bomb that contained no nuclear material. It was pretty cool. I did a lot of studying when I was a kid about airplanes and fighter jets and stuff like that. You know, it was a little weird. But as a child and stuff, the education system was scared because I was studying fighter jets and how their flight capacities, payloads, and whatever else they were capable of holding, stuff like that. And they were genuinely scared because I knew all that information. And I said, it's called reading a book, you know. I said, I can read about fighter jets and learn about planes and everything. It's not like I care. I said, the only thing that's fascinating about it is the speed, G-forces a person could handle while they were inside of that thing. It's like a ridiculous capacity kind of function. And it just drives me to wonder how far people have gone. It also reminds me of a little thing. People don't realize this, but you know, in Call of Duty, how Makarov drones on about how the West hypocrisies and blah blah blah. Well, it would be like the ideal function of when Russia created the biggest hydrogen bomb in the world, known as the Tsar Bomba. That was the biggest hydrogen bomb ever designed. Well, that happened. Clouds kind of screwed me over. Well, at least I demolished the base. I'll still get my XP. I wasn't expecting it to be that close to the ground. Especially with all that cloud coverage. I wasn't expecting the clouds to be that low and that close to the base. I kind of figured I had some room to freaking work with. Turns out I didn't have any wiggle room. But yeah, it's just like super weird. The American B-29 was alright. But the Russian one turned out to outclass it. It was just weird. Take a look at this payload. 40 Fab 100s. 12 Fab 500 SVs. Those are the newer versions. The SV bombs versus the standardized Fab 500. Then you have the Fab 1000. Holds 8 of them. 500 kilograms of explosive, about 15 kilograms short of 500. Then you got the Fab 250s and a set of 40. That's 122.25. Multiply that by 40. This is 36.2 multiplied by 40. Then you have the 500 SVs. Multiply 325 by 20. That's half of 40. The Fab 1500s, 675 multiplied by 8. The Fab 3000s, 1400 kilograms explosive mass multiplied by 4. When you break down the mathematics on this one right here, you can genuinely see how much explosive mass. So the Fab 500s or the Fab 3000s multiplied by 4, 1400 times 4, is 5,600 per bomb, basically an entire payload of bomb, 5,600. Then you take a look at the 1,500 kilogram variations, that's 675 multiplied by a total of 8. That's 5,000 400 kilograms of explosive mass. Then you multiply 325 by 20. 325 by 20. The explosive mass of 325 by 20 is 6,500 in explosive mass. So that's actual how much of explosive TNT there's in there. So at 6,500, out of all the bomb payloads, the 20 Fab 500 SVs will deal a lot more damage in accordance when it comes to explosive mass damage. You got 1,400, and this one will rack up to 5,400. 5,400. The Fab 500 SVs by 20 is 6,500 explosive mass. Then you got the Fab 250s with 122.25, so 122.25 multiplied by 40, that's 4,890 explosive mass. Then the 1,000 pounders of 485 multiplied by 8. So you got 1,000, so you got 485 times 8. That's 3,880 explosive mass. The Fab 500 SVs multiplied by 12, so it's 325 multiplied by 12, that's 3,900 explosive mass, and your Fab 100s times 40, and your explosive mass is 36.2. So 36.2 multiplied by 40, and it gives you 1,148, and it's a total explosive mass firepower. And that's just for the Tupolev 4, the Russian reverse-engineered B-29. Then you come on down to the United States and you take a look at its B-29BN model. This is pretty much what it has to work with. Overall, it's got 12.7 machine guns all around, and this is 7.3 bomber plane. It carries a standard payload of 20 Fabs or 2,500 pounders. So you take a look at its explosive mass, but it gives you a TNT equivalent of 162.1. However, we're doing explosive mass because that's how it calculates a War Thunder, not the equivalent of TNT. So you got 124.28 times 20. The explosive mass in total is 2,485.6 for that one. It's 1,000 pound bombs by 18 is 269.9. So 269.9 times, and that's 18. 4,858.2 is 500 pounders at 124.28 by 40. So 124.28 times 40, and that'll give you a total of 4,971.2. Weird, isn't it? Then you got his 2,000 pounders, which gives you 535.6, and that's multiplied by 8. 535.6 times 8 equals 4,284.8 kilograms of explosive mass. And it's got his 4,000 pounders, and these are the only ones that would probably outclass the Russian explosive variant. This is the 4,000 pounder AN M56 bomb, carrying a massive payload of 1599.4, nearly 1,600 pounds of TNT, but it's tritonol, which is a mix of TNT, or in this case, it's actually an extreme amount of gunpowder and aluminum ground coarse mix. And yeah, I do know what that is, tritonol. It's very dangerous. Multiply that by 4, and it's 6,397.6 explosive mass in total. But its TNT equivalent is 1887.29. So 1887.29 times 4, and that's 7,549.16. That would be the total amount of explosive mass if we were going by that. But since War Thunder doesn't count explosive mass and TNT equivalent, and it calculates only based on the explosive mass of the actual weapon versus what the power output is, that's about it. This one has a top speed of 374 miles an hour. and its engine powerhouse. When you calculate the weight of the engine, the weight of the engine is 1,251 kilograms mass. It's got a max power of 175 horsepower. Its takeoff power required is 2,276 horses of power. It's a radial 18-cylinder radial engine system. So that's what it is. This is what it generates, essentially, in power. For a set of 4 engines, this should be a combined ratio of that from power to weight ratio. Then you take a look at this baby, the Tupolev 4. It's got a 1,340 kilogram engine with a max power output at 2,406 horsepower with a takeoff power weight to ratio of 2,597 horsepower. Cooling type is 18 and is the Ash 73 TK engine, and it's a radial engine of 18 cylinders. Turned out to be more powerful. Whew. A ridiculous payload amount. And for me, that's a pretty good time that I spent basically blabbing about absolutely nothing well, I guess pretty much everything that was pointless to you guys, since I doubt any of you actually wanted to hear that. Let's see how long I've been going. I've been going for 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's quite a bit of time. I didn't think I got the XP from that flight either. Yeah, I left the battle. Which means it's still raging on even after all that conversating. Looks like the Sky Raiders are actually, they travel almost as fast as the freaking B-29. They probably will travel as fast as the B-29 when they're fully upgraded. So I guess a group squadron of Sky Raiders could technically escort a B-29, but they would need about 6 on the left wing, 6 on the right wing, 3 in the front, 4 in the back. Sort of in diamond formation. However, the 2 wings on the left and right will have to be in diamond shape or in triangular wing formation, so that way they could have the most put out from it. And then the 4 in the back will be the ones who handle anything to get past the 3 in front.
Attention to the map!
Ooh, maybe I should play Resident Evil 2. But I would have to reinstall it, I think. I don't think it's installed. Play some spooky Resident Evil 2. I barely remember everything from the game. I do remember everything from the original, though. So much attention to detail. Where in the newer one, it's sort of scary and freakish, but it's not like that genuine scary. So I don't know. Oh, holy crap, I'm already getting flak fire.
Attack the enemy.
I don't know what a BE6 is, but maybe somebody can go blow them up. So that way I don't have to deal with them. Oh shit. Come on, dude. Come on, Gare Bear. Drop the damn fucking plane. Fuck's sake. This thing literally lagged its ass off to fucking give what? To give that guy behind me a BJ? Seriously, you gotta be kidding me. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the plane, and it didn't tilt and it didn't rotate. What could have possibly have gone wrong to prevent it from rotating like that? Okay, well, since War Thunder wants to start scamming me out of a fucking run and whatever, yeah, I might as well just prep to go, guys, because, you know, War Thunder, clout chasing bitch. I'm gonna take a look at my crew XP accumulated from all that crap. And as you can see, my crew has accumulated enough XP to be called a literal dummy. But that'll be about it. Well, this was fun. I just didn't understand why I didn't rotate or didn't want to freaking turn. I wasn't doing anything. I was literally holding the A key over here trying to get it to literally barrel roll for a second so I can do my dive, but it continued to refuse to roll. That made absolutely no sense, even for me. That made no sense for it not to roll. I don't need stamina, I need freaking G-force tolerance. Stamina means absolutely nothing if your guy can't handle a little bit of G-forces. But yeah, that was sort of annoying. At least I got some XP for it. I think it's listed right here. 832 and 4009. 23. It's not a lot of XP, but it should be enough to get part of the way. I hope the stream goes on for a little bit longer, but I'm not entirely sure what I can do now. I've pretty much done most of what I wanted to do. Not entirely sure what else I can do. Well, let's take off in the AM one. I haven't played this. I already tried the A26B10. That was a disaster. Didn't even make it to my bomb target. Okay, let's try to make it somewhere this time.
Attention to the map! Thank you very much. I agree.
Nope, I don't have an F-16. I have an F-5A and an F-4D1. They were nice prizes. As for this guy, I sort of just forgot about him in the corner and didn't even realize he was actually available. Then again, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I already got it. I got all the skins that were available from the past few esports events. I got all of them. So, yeah, they were pretty worth it.
Engaging the enemy.
Let's see. Landing. Harness. Armament. Hook. Tail. Wheel. Fuel. Mixture. Prop. Wheels. Flaps. Drive. Dive. Armament. Defrost. Fuel. Prop. Cowl. Flaps. Drive. Brakes. Takeoff. Wing locks. Tabs. Cowl. Flaps. Prop. Mixture. Fuel. Harness. Tail wheel. Weird.
Ahead of the enemy.
It's a lot of instructions. Okay, Henkel 162A, the wooden fighter jet. I got him this morning around like I think it was like 4:30 in the morning
Attention
when
to
they
the
kind of
map.
just randomly popped up when I was playing. They kind of just like popped in like, hey, we exist all of a sudden. It was like 3:30 in the morning. When did you start watching the esports events? Did you complete it? Because I got the AJ skin, and then I ended up with another skin, apparently an F-16 Haruna something. I forgot when that one was supposed to be given to me, but I know I have it, so a little happy. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Spare over these for this guy over here. But just so that the guys on the ground don't get any wise ideas about me, I'm gonna have to take them out too. I'm gonna have to conserve my ammo though. By the way, believe it or not, SPAA can shoot the bombs right off your spars. Combat. Whoa. Whoa. Uh-oh. Well, that was a good flight. Plane kept rotating and doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do. Oh yeah, if you want to see if I actually do have them, I think I can look them up. Skins, let's see. No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, that's the tricolor camouflage. 4D1, China, Thrice camouflage. Oh wait, that was for Japan. The F-16 AJ. No, this is the demonstration cartoon. Ah, Hasagumi. This one actually got painted in real life, by the way, for anybody who's wondering. This thing they call the esports Hasagumi skin, as they call it, this actually got painted onto an F-16 over there in Japan. So it's a literal thing that happened in real life. There was another one, I forgot where it was. That's China. Let's see, the USSR. Illusion number 4. Nope. Let's see. MiG. Ah, esports quick response. And here we go. And this is this one. Although it looks nice, this looks like matte colored paint. It's not shiny, it's not pretty much like well covered. It's not well painted, basically. There was another one that I got. I forgot how many of those things I actually had. Let me take a look in here. Economics. No. Crew. Let's see. Items. Item. Quick response. Yeah, it would be trophies then. Hasagumi. SMT. Tornado. I got that one. There's another one on here. It goes further down. I've gotten quite a few trophies from esports, and a few of them just from random boxes I open. Let's see, the air nations I have is Germany, Japan, China, and France. Oh, okay. Well, I threw away money into the American tech tree. I didn't really invest much time into it, as you can see. There's a lot of planes over here that when they updated, they gave them fire extinguishers on board, and I'm not going to go back and spade them again. I really won't go back and spade them. Then I need 5, so this is 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. I need to at least get, since this one's got more into it, I'll have to pour it into here, which will get me the Phantom 2. This is the Phantom 2J model. This is the Phantom E model, which is the most used model. The Phantom C model was only used for surveillance. The J model was used for aircraft carrier use. And the E model was used all-rounder. The F-14A and F-14B. I haven't really uploaded any videos lately, and that's mostly because I'm still in the process of deciding whether or not they're any good. At least good enough for me to actually want to use them. And this is another one I'm working for. I don't care about the F-105 Thunder Chief. That thing sucks. Personal opinion. But I will be aiming for this one right here. The F-111A. Mostly because you can add more guns. Listed right here. Ta-ching! And it's got quite a few AIM-9Es. So if you ever wanted to go straight up freaking systematic redundancy, you'll get your AIM-9Bs. You could take on a lot of AIM-9Bs, but if you do take it on, it will replace your M61A1 minigun. But if you're smart, you can take these two wing spars here and put those cannons on board and then put 2 missiles in the bottom center, giving you a total of 6. You can get just the external cannons on the side, even though they will carry some parasite drag. But you're better off leaving the 2 missiles in the segmented area right here, which is where the gun would be at. You're better off leaving those 2 air-to-air missiles out of the picture, but taking a wing spar full of nothing but air-to-air. The F-111A, I believe it has the highest top speed in the game at the moment. Because I don't think the F-14 goes faster than it. No, 1355, 1361 versus 1502, 1288, and 1288, and the ADF version, 1282. F5E, Tiger II, F-104, Starfighter. The F-100 isn't really counting, but the F-4s are genuinely fast. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary right now, I guess. Another thing I'm also aiming for is the A-10 Thunderbolt, also known as the Tank Buster. Right now, the fastest jet I have available in Germany is the Tornado IDS. Marineflieger. F-1412. It's almost as fast as the Aardvark. 1433 is their MiG-29's highest speed. The Yak-28B is at 1165, but it actually goes 1,300 miles an hour in real life. It's relatively fast. The MiG-27M and MiG-27K are another ones I'm aiming for, but as you can see, I'm doing the research to get the first Sukhoi 25. They're enjoyable little planes. And the MiG-29 from the Mikoyan Industries, known as Mikoyan Gruvich, is at 1405 and 1464. And this one is the MiG-29A model, but this A model consists of the upgrades from 2009 to 2013 iteration. And the MiG-29 SMT is the 2009 iteration of upgrades all the way to 2019 iterations. And then if you want to get your hands on a MiG-29K, which won't be put in this video game, and this game will probably go out of service long before the MiG-29K ever gets added. But the MiG-29K is iterations from 2019 upgrades to a total of 2022. But those upgrades considered heavily classified and will never be debunked or removed or put into open source until later. I'd say in about 20 years. So if War Thunder is still around in 20 years, then it means it did a pretty good job as remaining the #1, fighting source or whatever. I don't know if I want to continue playing War Thunder. I feel a little burned out. I've been going for like almost 2.5 hours now. I would do it longer so that way I can get more content in. But I don't know what to do right now. I've run out of I guess you could say it's like Steam right now. I've run out of Steam or whatever. And I'm still waiting for the results for this thing. And I'm waiting for the results for this thing. So I don't know. I guess I feel kind of burned out right now. Or whatever. And I think if I continue to play, I'm just going to burn myself out. And then I'm just going to be angry. Now, if you feel free or feel like joining me in, you know, playing Terraria, I'd be happy to have some guests. Just keep in mind that the current level of Terraria is set to Master. Meaning that it's like on the highest difficulty because it's for the glory of the amazing loot that can be looted. The other thing about Terraria that sucks is that if you open a treasure chest, it doesn't give the other player the opportunity to loot the same treasure chest but to get their own loot, essentially. Which is one of the sad things about Terraria. You can get loot, but it's not really going to give you loot. You get what I mean? So it's just like a little bit confusing for me. What to do, what to do. I guess I could play with the tanks for a little bit, but I'm not sure what that'll do for me. I guess I could do the Tornado IDS again. I was grinding it earlier this morning. Alright. I should at least be able to do maybe tops two bombing runs. It's not guaranteed.
Need cover.
Let's get the airframe. Finish up on that research. Interesting. I'm like this my last game, and it'll round out probably at 2 hours and 40 minutes tops. At least I can get this in. It's interesting that you have the tech tree version, and then you have the naval version, which is pretty cool. This F-14 is going to try to hog both ground targets to himself. Gotta change my direction. Keep this angled level. I want to change my direction. I want to maintain the speed of sound by 1. somewhere around here.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
The system says I'm being tracked. As long as I keep traveling about over the speed of sound, I should have a pretty good survival ratio. Yeah, there they go, the F4S. That should bleed them off from tracking me for a little bit. F4J model. Hey, there we go. Gotta get rid of you. Tiger's tracking at 6, make 23. Got an air-to-air surface target tracking me. Better pull this high G turn. Come on, dude, at least leave me something to hit. Big 23 to my north. It's likely at my 12 high. There's no way you're sitting up there. Sitting low. It's likely up high. Looks like that F-14 that was ahead of me. They went to go do the bomb run, didn't make it. Oh well. Been using the Chinese and the Japanese F-16s. I expected them, I experienced them. Also does it a lot better because I won't be passing every couple seconds. Oh, okay. Well, at least I got some of the upgrades that I was looking for on some of these things. Do I want to grab more types of bombs, or do I want to just put it into the wings repair, the engine? We'll get the wings repair. Well, I'm pretty sure when I log in later, the experience is going to be there for the Tornado. It's going to probably ask me to purchase the stuff on there. If you're looking at the German tech tree, and this isn't on the aviation department, during my limited time chance, I managed to get the mouse. I already had access to it originally whenever I had the event the first time and put in a little bit of XP for the mouse. And then after one update, all of a sudden, poof, no mouse, no XP, nothing. And then it was gone, and then for 3 freaking years, I think it was 3 years or I think it was 2 years. I don't know how long it has been since they removed it officially from the game. But for quite some time, I missed out on getting the mouse several times. And every time I grinded for the mouse and made it up to the point where I could get the mouse for grinding it for like the XP to get the vehicle, my German tech tree would end up reset at the end of every year. And guess what BR I'd be sitting in? I wouldn't be up here. I'd be sitting back here at rank 3 all over again. All these vehicles right here, completely removed. Panther D would be there. Tiger E would be there. These guys, they weren't even in existence. It was back all the way over here to this vehicle. This was all the way to here. And these SPAAs were the only thing filled in the Panther D. And the Tiger 1, H1, and E model were the only thing I had. But everything else, just completely spotted, ripped away, just gone. Don't know what exactly happened, I just knew that it was all gone. I sent a complaint to the developers telling them what was going on because all of a sudden I don't have tanks in the German tech tree, they're just gone. I told them I lost that's like almost 12 tanks lost, and I told them I really don't feel like researching the German tech tree again to go through all that trouble to get the mouse, only for some other update to happen, and then all of a sudden I'm missing tanks along with Silver Lions. Well, after filing that and showing them evidential proof and whatever, instead of giving me my vehicles back, they gave me 58,000 silver lions. Yeah, that's a great time, compared to how much was actually spent. That's kind of what killed my German tech tree research progress. That also killed my air progress because I don't know what was going on their end, but it was just weird. That killed my air progress because I was in rank 3 in Germany originally. And then after all of that happened, I was back at rank 1 and I only had the HE51 and a single JU87. That was it. It kind of buzz killed me due to the weird stuff that happened with my account and whatever they were telling me, because I kept getting the whole roundabout, oh, it's this, is this problem, oh, it's that. No, it turns out something was happening between the Steam servers and communications between them. So, for some time, it wasn't like giving me what I was looking for or giving me the information that was needed to feasibly pass on that information from point A to point B. And it sort of just buzz killed it. So after that, I dropped Germany off the map for, well, since I started playing War Thunder. Like, I originally dropped Germany entirely right off the radar and off the map entirely. Didn't touch it, I abandoned the nation altogether. And I just played nothing but Russia. And as you can see, I really have been playing nothing but Russia, of the USSR, essentially. I've just been playing their tech tree, and I've pretty much spaded all of the ground vehicles from 1.0. You know, rank 1, rank 2 have been spaded. Rank 3, I had most of it spaded originally, but after they updated the game a couple of times, their most recent tank additions and folder tanks have pretty much kind of swallowed that area and have ended up with just needing to be respaded again. The IS-2 didn't have the smoke grenades originally attached to them until after new documentation was applied, and I didn't want to go back to using the IS-2 1944 and RB again and having to re-unlock all that. That was just like a bit of a nightmare for me. Then they did a few folder tanks, the T-44 100 model, the T-54s, they were great. This 1949 model got the 3BK5 heat added to it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go through that again of using the 1949 model because, I don't know, it's just really bad for me to just do something all over again. The BMP-1 was alright. I did not use the SU-122-54 model, even though it's got a faster reload rate compared to the other SU-122, which the first 122 you can find is, I believe, right here. This is the original SU-122 with the M30 howitzer. Then you look over here, the ISU-122 and the SU-100. The ISU 19.7 second reload and uses a D25S cannon. Then you got its howitzer of the 122 M30 kind. Then you got its relative, the KV-2, which uses the M10T howitzer at 152 millimeters. Still use the KV-2 today. You can still one-shot a modern battle tank with that thing. Doesn't matter how much ERA and protective plates it has. That thing has enough concussive force with the explosive mass in it to completely blow up a modernized tank. So, if I had a choice, I'd just slap out the KV-2 and just lob rounds from a quarter mile away and just pop tanks. Like shaking a soda can and throwing it at a brick wall. Does the SU-122-54 have its advantages? The answer is yes. It's got a pretty good advantage with the machine gun at 14.5 kpvt. Machine gun, its armor on the sides is a total of 80, which is a lot more than what I've seen on Russian tank destroyers. 100 right here, 100 right here, 100 on the turret mantlet shell. Then you got another, apparently 100 behind it, so it gives you 200 on the mantlet. It gives you 50 on the ring surrounding the mantlet, and then you got the 100 plate around that 50, so it gives you 150 around there. It gives you a 20 millimeter track on the underside of the main plate, 100 millimeter plate on the lower glacis, 80 millimeters on the side, and on the top it gives you a total of 20, 80, and 80, and 100. This right here is actually the vision scope. So if you thought that the gunner was really aiming through here through these gunner optics, the commander's optics are pretty much what gave you better sight. So the commander optics give you a zoom of literally 4 to 10 times the zoom, where the gunner optics gave you 3.5 to 7, which wasn't that much. But if you use them in conjunction with your commander, you can get a more variable shot and land your targets. It wasn't that great, I'll tell you that much. It's got a BR-240, 471, or is it 471, 471B, 471D model. The 3BM7 at 330 millimeters and 3BK10 at 400 millimeter heat. It generally gets a night vision smoke shell, and that's about it. But at 6.7, for the amount of damage it's supposed to do, this thing can get one-shotted by a KV-2. So you're not really lobbing the murder balls around, if you get what I mean. This tank is the new Pancake tank in War Thunder. This vehicle has an actual compressible suspension. It's got a terrible reverse gear, I'm going to tell you that now. The only thing that was unique about this tank is that it's got a revolver style ammunition carousel system, so it's a revolver style. The ammunition gets drawn from this little cabinet here, which is actually supposed to be a mechanized reload ammo rack system, and it pulls a shell. The internal of the ammo rack composition armor or whatever, like the ammo rack system here, would pull the rounds, and it would slide it into the revolver barrel, and it would continue to pull from the system with the little arms, pulls the ammunition and slides it into each barrel, and that could take a little bit of time in real life. The cool part about this tank is that it's got composite armor. Rolled homogeneous armor of 100 millimeters, 105 textiles, 16 millimeter rolled homogeneous armor. High hardness rolled armor of 90, textiles of 70, and 30 millimeters. This one's got 40, 320 millimeters of aluminum, cast homogeneous armor of 280 in the rear. And this is a composite armor. This vehicle is very advanced for the ridiculousness you're dealing with, especially at what you're actually dealing with. And if you look at its armor protection analysis, you compare it to like your first APF SDS at 3BM, this thing's going to block off 531 millimeters. Right here, it's going to knock off 634 to 675 against kinetic munitions. 763, 800. Look at that. A freaking 1010 millimeters right there. That's an incredible amount of armor protection for that. And I think this is the armor piercing fin stabilized round. The T-72A is never going to hit through this thing. It's never going to go through it, even with 3BK12 heat. The 3BM9, no way it's going to go through the frontal armor of that thing. The 3BM22, 422, protection is pretty lackluster against this ammunition right here. But if you look at it, it'll go through the lower glacis. But all the way over here, if it gets shot from the side, it's not going to go through. That's at 500 meters. At point blank, you still got a really crap-tastic chance at point blank. Was that 1,600 meters of armor protection I just saw up here? Yeah, that was. This thing's got a ridiculous chance even at point blank. Now let's go ahead and put it up here where we know things are going to work out. The 9M, this one will definitely go through. It's an ATGM. Possibility of low. This one right here is a high explosive missile. Chrysanthemum IS. 3BK18M, it's high explosive round. You're not going through it. 3BM42, not going through it. Right here, if you get lucky enough and you hit it right there specifically, which is only right here, but everywhere else, the round will shatter. Yep. 3BM19, 3BM46. Doesn't go in. Doesn't go in. Will go through. So right here will penetrate through as long as it hits directly in the center. And it'll be an ammunition detonation. That's if you're lucky. So overall, this is like one of the most ridiculously overprotected tanks. I do Russian top tier in air. It's alright. I don't really trust any other jet to really do the whole evading portion. Cool, there it is. I got that. Let's get new boosters in. Now with my aviation department, I think I have it listed specifically under aviation. Or is it under fleet? Hold on. It's going to be a bit of hopping, scotching around here. Yeah, I guess this one I have to modify. But over here, I went and already finished up the LA200, the Yak 28P. The MiG-15 is sitting here. I don't think I have anything here that's jet fighter related, other than the Sukhoi 8, which isn't jet fighter, but it's something. MiG-21 PFM, aka PF Chang's, the Sukhoi 9, which I stopped using that thing once I maxed it out. There's this one right here, the Su-22 M3 edition, and the MiG-9, which I actually enjoyed the MiG-9. It's got a better power to weight ratio on takeoff due to the Kimilov RD-20A2 engines, and not to mention the MiG-9's lightweight compared to most aircraft. Then you got this one, the Sukhoi 22 M3 modernization number 3, and I got quite a few of its upgrades. Haven't really got much of what I'm looking for, but I got the airframe, fuselage repair, and I'm aiming for new set of bombs. I would go for all of these ridiculous ATGM crap, but it's not worth it because none of it is actually, you know, fire and forget or laser lock material. So I can't just like, oh, I want to lock this dummy on the other side of the map 10 kilometers away so I can just snipe him from that far away and I don't have to look at him no more. I believe none of the ammunition on here is fire and forget. This is laser guidance, which requires you to actually still maintain a lock on them. This is dumbfire, which is the S-250 rockets, which you can find on the Sukhoi 25 Frogfoot. The KH-23M, this is manual guidance, which is the M-Scalos, which is basically M-Selos or M-Scalos, which is manually guided. You'll have to use, if you set it up with your arrow keys like I have mine set up, I can manually guide the missile in. The KH-23ML, which is also another guided missile, but you still have to maintain an image on them, I think. Otherwise, it's just going to go to the last known position. So that's pretty much the edge of it. If you are going to take this thing out, where you see these two Fab 100s, you're better off taking the 2 extra 23mm machine guns with you, which will really be beneficial when you think about long range down the road. It'll give you 2 extra guns with the already existent twin 30mm you have on board, which are the NR30 cannons. And they offer quite a bit of armor penetration, a maximum of 48, but it's firing armor-piercing high explosive rounds, so it's beneficial. As for the MiG-21, the PFM model actually had gun pods on it. So the original MiG-21 PFM had gun pods, which you can switch out the air-to-air for 2 gun pods, but they were officially removed since somebody went and said, oh, they never had it on there and blah, 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 and showed them a military document. A military document that was outdated, but they took it as real proof. But every MiG-21 was capable of carrying a set of gun pods on them. This one right here, if you actually had the chance to get this vehicle, the Sukhoi 8, this thing is well worth it, and it's got pretty good high explosive action for air targets, and its armor penetration for armor-piercing tracer rounds are very good for tank busting. I don't regret using it. They're pretty good. The MiG-15 is an alright fighter jet. This one doesn't come with any missiles, but it does get 2 Fab 100M models. Currently was researching the airframe, or the covers for it. The LA-200, it's a nice aircraft. It's got a good power to weight ratio. However, the only downside about it is that it's very cumbersome and very huge for its size, but its power to weight ratio is good and it does handle a rough landing pretty well. This one right here is the Yak-28 model, and essentially these two 500-pounders probably wouldn't outclass these three or these 6 250M models. I don't think it would, since these would technically equal up to about as much as this. It'd be like holding 2 and then some, so these two Fab 250M models are a lot better than, you know, the singles over there. Other than that, when I say I've successfully outrun air-to-air missiles, including some that claim they can reach Mach 3, I've outrun them in this. I've tried doing the same thing with this and this at 10,000 meters. I did not run squat. And this thing has an afterburner thrust of 5,300 kilograms of force, but it's not even enough. And I got literally the engine fire suppression system, the covers, the engine, G-suit, wings repair, airframe, new booster controllers, compressor and fuselage repair, and this thing is still not fast enough to outrun missiles at that height. The Su-22M3, this thing has an incredible amount of force, and I literally outran them only once, and that was it. Well, the Yak-28 has outrun even modern planes with their missiles, and I've outran them simply because of the amount of force that these twin engines offer, which are the Termansky R11 F300s, which are in the MiG-21, and it holds 2 of those babies, which you can find here in this MiG-21, the F-13 model, R11 F300s. It's 2 of those engines, so essentially 2 MiG-21 fuselages fused to make the Yak-28. And for some reason this thing in the game says it's got a max speed of 1161, where in real life its max speed is 13 something. It's like 1,300 miles an hour. It's extremely fast. But that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and hearing Wobbly's pointless facts about planes. I really enjoyed playing games today, but I got to check on a couple of applications. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me play. I'll probably be back with maybe, I don't know, Terraria, or I'll probably be playing, you know, Biohazard Outbreak. And if I can get some help on setting up the online portion, I might be able to play online with somebody. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for coming by, guys. Have a great time. Bye-bye. Don't forget to smash that like button if you liked watching whatever it was you were seeing. I keep forgetting to add that, even to my regular recorded videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, share with your friends if you want to, and have a great time. Do enjoy the time you guys spend, and enjoy your afternoon. It's 10:43 for me, but that's going on U.S. Central Time. I'm currently not there. Peace. Arigato. Bye-bye.